President
That was on
Comer,
camera.
Yes,
we are live.
we are live, okay. Sounds good.
If anybody wants to speak tonight, sign in for the.
Here you go. Did you read that? Make
Somewhere
sure you read
between
that.
8:30 and 9 o'clock.
Important. This is very important. Yes.
If you want me to read it, you better send it before 6:01. Oh, you do that. I didn't know he was coming.
It's Christmas shopping all day.
I don't have a whole lot to do this year. Quite a few, I guess,
Yeah.
family. Because it was this weekend at our house.
We used to get local family and stuff. We don't get whole lot. It's too expensive. Yeah, that's what we tried as kids.
They actually,
Are those little burn bubbles?
Don't bother with guys when you get over one.
Are they that
hate
evident?
white souls, though.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
She's gonna hate white souls. I'll just give it to you. Take care.
I'm good.
I'll drop them off on your porch.
He said it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Well, you were just put,
When you ever gonna get rid of your pile?
get rid of what?
Oh, that pile there? Oh, I know, that's,
It's all the agendas.
So.
hey, Chris, did you get all the sign-ins? Okay, I'm gonna get started. Thank you.
I would say that you did a lot of research on for nothing because this isn't through the Department of HUD. These don't even match the grant schedule because it's completely different. I'm gonna say that
That's true.
I'd like to welcome everyone to the London City Council meeting. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. And we want to follow that by a moment of silent reflection. And we want to take that time to remember the attack at Pearl Harbor and all those that lost their lives during that time. We do want to pause for a moment of silence to recognize them. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Clerk, could you please take the roll call?
Councilman Eads,
Here.
Councilman Peters,
Here.
Councilman Robinson,
Here.
President Comer,
Present.
Councilman Hitt,
Here.
Councilman Stahl,
Present.
Councilman Hayes.
And we also do want to keep our Councilman Rich Hayes in your thoughts and prayer that he'll have a speedy recovery and full recovery. All right, and our minutes from our November 16th meeting, we will have those at our next meeting. Those are being completed. We do not have any public hearings today and no communications or announcements. So on to our audience concerns. We'll begin with Mr. Norman. You state your name, address, and you have 5 minutes, please.
Michael W. Norman, 188 South Oak Street here in the great city of London, Ohio. I'm just coming to ask the question of, I DoorDash, which you didn't know, most people do. So I DoorDash, I'm throughout the city quite a bit, and one thing I've noticed here lately, and it's extreme, is the potholes. And they're not normal wear and tear potholes. These are potholes that are being created by either Omni-Fiber or another utility company. They're cutting into our pavement, and then they're not fixing it properly. If you go the day after they're there, it looks like they did a great job, it's fixed, it's there. But you go 2 or 3 days later, and that thing's dipped already down. We're getting ready to go into the winter, so now we're gonna add on to that, we're gonna add the snow, that's gonna pack down in there, it's gonna melt, then you're gonna add salt to that, it's gonna make it expand. Right now, most of these holes are averaging about 2 feet by about 2 feet. But when it comes spring, how big are those gonna be? So my question is, are we gonna hold these utility companies, especially Omni-Fiber, because I would say that probably 80% of them, if you look where the hole is, if you look left or right, you'll see one of those new fancy Omni-Fiber boxes right there in the easement. So I'm thinking it's mostly Omni-Fiber. I've been told that, how are we supposed to know? Well, I don't think you have to be a Sherlock Holmes to kind of figure that out, that maybe they're responsible. The other thing I'm going to say about that is they know how to fix them right, because you can see in the main drags of the city, when they do a big one, they make sure it's done right on the main roadways coming through. It's the side roadways. I went 1 mile from my house, and there were 18 just in that mile that are just, I mean, they're terrible. You hit them with your car, and you're going to knock your car out of alignment probably. So my question is, do we have to fix those, or is that going to be a taxpayer thing, or is there a way that we can say to Omni, wait, you guys need to come back and fix this? I mean, or did they put a bond up at the beginning where they put some money up at the beginning that says, if you don't leave it the way you found it, we can keep this money to fix these problems? What are we doing about, what are we going to do about these potholes?
All right, and I'm not sure if you were here for the meeting or not, but we've already discussed this. Omni-Fiber, they're actually going to go back through and fix all the potholes and everything, that the sidewalks and everything that they mess up as they're going through. But once they're complete with an area, then like where they first started at, I guess they've had a chance to go back and fix that. But they will go back through and fix the sidewalks and fix everything that they're doing as they're coming through.
As they're coming through?
Is it in summer? They're supposed to come back out and finish it once everything is complete, but it's already in the plans for them to. So it's not going to be left the way it is right now. They're going to come back through.
Because like I said, they do like if you look at it right after they leave that area, it's like, oh, they did a good
Well,
job.
it's because they had a chance to do that area. But yeah, like I said, we had this discussion before it came up. We had a person come and their sidewalks were all tore up and everything. Is there a date they're supposed to come back by to do that?
Bill, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's just like any utility. They'll come in, they cut them, then they're moving on. So there's different crews. They'll move on and do the next portion, and then a crew, just like when they were fixing the yards, right? When they would dig up somebody's yard, it would be dug up for a little bit, and then they would come in and fix the yard. So as they're moving around, the crews will come in and blacktop.
So those first things that were done, it was in the summer, nice and warm, so they were able to get a crew back in there and get that all done. So they're going to do the same thing with this. So it will be completed. They're not going to come and tear up our city.
Well, I'm just saying, because like mine was done early summer. and
Yeah.
They fixed it, but like right in front of my house, in the parking lane where there's really no traffic going over it, it's a big ditch.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure
It'll
that
be
we
fixed.
don't get stuck as a city paying for something that they did, right?
Now, actually, like within a mile from your house, you're supposed to fix those.
Am I?
Yeah, we'll get you some shovels, get you Bill, get him a truck. No, they'll get those taken. They'll get those taken
I'll
care
do
of.
it after Christmas. All right, thank you.
All right, thanks. Next, we have Anita Likens.
Good to be back.
Yeah.
Hello, Anita Rita Likens, 157 East First Street, thank you for bringing up this historic event on December 7th, 1941. Mr. Vice President, Mr. Speaker, and members of the Senate and the House of Representatives. Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy, the United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan. The United States was at peace with that nation and at the solicitation of Japan was still in conversation with its government and its emperor, looking towards the maintenance of peace in the Pacific. Indeed, 1 hour after Japanese air squadrons had commenced bombing on the American island of Oahu, the Japanese ambassador to the United States and his colleague delivered to our Secretary of State a formal reply to a recent American message. And while this reply stated that it seemed useless to continue the existing diplomatic negotiations, it contained no threat or hint of war or armed attack. It will be recorded that the distance of Hawaii from Japan makes it obvious that the attack was deliberately planned many days or even weeks ago. During the intervening time, the Japanese government has deliberately sought to deceive the United States by false statements and expressions of hope for continued peace. The attack yesterday on the Hawaiian Islands has caused severe damage to American naval and military forces. I regret to tell you that very many American lives have been lost. In addition, American ships have been reported torpedoed on the high seas between San Francisco and Honolulu. The President requests the war declaration. Yesterday, the Japanese government also launched an attack against Malaya. Last night, Japanese forces attacked Hong Kong. Last night, Japanese forces attacked Guam. Last night, Japanese forces attacked the Philippine Islands. Last night, the Japanese attacked Wake Island. And this morning, the Japanese attacked Midway Island. Japan has, therefore, undertaken a surprise offensive extending throughout the Pacific area. The facts of yesterday and today speak for themselves. The people of the United States have already formed their opinions and well understand the implications to the very life and safety of our nation. As Commander-in-Chief of the Army and Navy, I've directed all measures be taken for our defense. But always will our whole nation remember the character of the onslaught against us. No matter how long it may take us to overcome this premeditated invasion, the American people in their righteous might will win through to absolute victory. I believe that I interpret the will of Congress and of the people when I assert that we will not only defend ourselves to the uttermost, but will make it very certain that this form of treachery shall never again endanger us. Hostilities exist. There is no blinking at the fact that our people, our territory, and our interests are in grave danger. With confidence in our armed forces, with the unbounding determination of our people, we will gain the inevitable triumph to so help us God. I ask that the Congress declare that since this unprovoked and dastardly attack by Japan on Sunday, December 7, 1941, that a state of war has existed between the United States and the Japanese Empire. And less than 24 hours after receipt of the first news of the attack on Pearl Harbor, the President drove to the Capitol to deliver this foregoing message to the joint session of the Senate and the House of Representatives. I volunteer at the USO every week. And I was there when our people were deployed as they're heading over to the Mideast right now. I can hope that everybody in this room recognizes the sacrifices that have taken place, not just in 1941, but every day since then with our armed forces. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for the history lesson. I can only remember the first part, a day that shall live in infamy. I thank you for reading that.
On to Tommy Boyd. Please state your name, address, and you have 5 minutes, please.
All right, Tommy Boyd, 48 North Union Street, London, Ohio. First off, a couple last things from just items looking into. Congrats, Pat. We got busy 4 years coming up, and we're starting it off with a bang. So, congrats on that. Next piece was a slow sign, children at play sign on Riley Avenue. They said that they'd been asking for this for a little while, Rex And so I was just gonna say, hey, you know, one of the last comments kind of brought to me that hopefully I can pass to you. After that, the printout that I gave you guys, the other information, I hope you got all the emails okay. Gave you all the contact information I'd gotten so far from the Housing and Urban Development group downtown about the CDBG. So how we could use those funds, how they're to be spent, how we get that money back. And so that's mostly what this whole paper is going over. I don't know if you had any questions that you already kind of saw from it. Rex, Pat, you know, if any kind of arguments to it, but even kind of asking our commissioners, our county administrator, this is the route that they want us to be going through. So just kind of getting that idea of, hey, we want to be able to spend these funds early in the year, try to start asking for them back later on. That way those projects are completed, but also refunded to us later in the year. You'll see a couple other timelines on there that hopefully next year you guys can start getting a new application together. At the bottom it says, talking about areas with 51% of individuals that are underneath 80% of the area median income can have 100% of sewer line repairs covered by these funds. And so I feel we have several areas in this town that might actually be able to help. Other than that, it's just information I'd like to pass on to you. You know, it isn't anything that I'm, you know, questioning tonight, just kind of items I know we talked about, and that's what I found. One large item that was kind of brought up to me in my last piece would be when I was asked if any of our projects are meeting items within our capital improvement plan. And I was saying if we had one for the city, anything saying, you know, what sewer lines are in need of repair, you know, how old each of them are. Just different things like that for us to be able to say, hey, these are our issues, or this is what we're trying to fix. Do we have anything like that now?
So every year, after we get the budget done and passed, we start bringing in all the department heads, and they start putting forward their wish list or ask list for the capital improvement budget, and then we go from there. But that's every department comes and we talk about capital improvements.
All right, and because, yeah, that was kind of the big piece that he was saying, you know, hey, if we don't have any surveys done right now, how can we even know what we need to fix? And so that's where, with us doing Mid-Ohio now, I hope that, you know, that survey we can at least continue. That was one piece I'm not sure if I missed in the last meeting, but it would be a big piece for us being able to know what's actually needing to be fixed in London. As he kind of said, you know, if you don't know, you're just kind of fixing one problem, causing another. And I believe we heard some of that at the last meeting also. Other than that, thank you very much, you guys. Have a good night.
All right, on to our committee reports. Mr. Eads.
Okay. Well, I attended a meeting last night. We didn't discuss which part we wanted to go over. How about I take rec? So Mr. McKenzie did come before us. Here's some quick updates. Swimming pool, the sand filters, those are going to be replaced next week. Christmas lights are up at Kelling Park. They do have a couple things that they put up, an 11-foot wide Christmas train, and then elves tossing presents. Those are displays that are up there also. Basketball has started. It's going to run through January, 237 players total. That's down a little bit. However, they know that there's travel teams now that weren't in existence, and also a couple other leagues have formed in other places. The old-fashioned Christmas, the rec department was down there with a photo backdrop. The big thing that I think we talked about is there's been discussion for the 2 years I've been on council on what to do with some spaces that aren't being used right now. I know I had suggested a while back that maybe we should look at pickleball somewhere, because we did have people playing pickleball in the old gym before it was removed. But an outdoor pickleball court seems to be a thing that most communities have now. So they have been researching this. They've got 3 bids or 3 not real bids, three estimates on what it would cost, ranging from $80,000 to $160,000 to put either 2 courts in or 3 courts in. They would remove the old part of asphalt where the basketball courts were at Callan Park and then put a new surface down, and they can do that. So this is not coming before council just yet, but we may look at that for capital for next year. That's all I have.
All right. Now, wasn't there talk a while ago about putting like a Gaga ball pit in that area or something? Okay, I was gonna say, so, and there's plenty of space for pickleball too?
Pickleball's where the old basketball court is.
Yeah.
Gaga's on the other side towards the hospital.
Okay, gotcha. All right. All right, on to Josh.
I attended the public service meeting as well. I'll let Brian finish that one up. But also want to let everybody know that Personnel and Finance Committee meeting is December 11th on Monday at 6.
I think you should have done since you skipped the last 12. I'll go over the street department. A few of the items that we went over are actually part of the legislation tonight, so we'll be going over that. Just a couple of the main things. The Western, one of the 2 trucks that are coming in, the Western is here. We're waiting for the other one. The word was we are waiting for a bid still to put on the back end, the bed, back end bed, same thing. On Monday, they have another contractor coming in for the salt barn. Both companies are on state contracts, so it may not have to go out to bid. Other than that, it's just the typical cleaning catch basins, working on our roads and sewage and water lines, so. We do not have a meeting scheduled for the next one because it'll be the new council, and Mr. Peters will be designating those individuals, and they will announce from there.
All right. Thank you very much. Mr. Hitt?
The next safety committee meeting is December 12th. That's next Tuesday at 5 o'clock in this room here. I don't have anything new other than that.
Okay, and Mr. Stahl, you have any?
I don't have anything, but I'll be at the finance and the Monday and the safety committee on Tuesday.
All right. Anything from our city official?
Yes, thank you. Just want to thank everyone for coming out. I appreciate your words at the beginning of this, as well as Ms. Likens. Very well said. Just a reminder that anyone coming in to city council or city council members staying on, that you will need to be sworn in. I know Josh will be talking to you guys about that. Josh and I had a brief conversation, and when you guys start looking at all your meeting dates for next year, I could tell you the administration is a huge fan of having all the meetings in one evening, which makes it easy that we can all come and knock them all out in one day instead of having to, take many nights out of a month. So I know we've done that before where we've had, 5 o'clock, a 6 o'clock, and a 7 o'clock. Just our suggestion. Also want to wish Councilman Hayes a speedy recovery. I was out and about and actually saw him outside at his house, so Maddox and I stopped and talked to him for a little bit, and he seems to be doing pretty well. He mentioned that he probably wouldn't be at this meeting, but he feels he will be back for the last meeting of the year, so that's good to hear. As you guys know, I was unable to attend the last meeting due to a prior engagement, which was the first meeting after the general election, so I do want to congratulate all those who won their election. Excited to work with the new city council and continue to move London forward. Also want to thank the citizens of London for their support in the election as I enter into my 3rd term. As we all know, this is a very busy time for the city of London, and especially the years to come, so I embrace the challenge and to help continue to grow London and keep that small town feel. I would also like to welcome Eve Breedlove to the City of London Administrative Office. She was hired as our new administrative executive assistant in late November. Eve has an extensive background in administration work as well as tech. She has really hit the ground running, going after grants, updating our social media, and many other things. So she's fitting in great, and we're excited to have her join the team and look forward to all the great things that she will accomplish. With addition of Mrs. Breedlove coming in, we have signed the contract with Apogee, so she will be helping head up that project. So Apogee is the company that'll be designing our website and the app, and the company that'll be hosting it. So once we get the new website up and running, which we're hoping will be in February, each department as well as city council will have access to their own page. There will definitely be some training involved for this, but we are excited to add more tools and continue to improve communication with the citizens and help keep them informed. We do have some exciting news on the East Water Plant. The City of London, in partnership with Mid-Ohio, has been working very hard on getting the plant up and running. We have had some successful initial tests, being able to produce clean water. Testing is being done on the plant this week as we are running it to get a full week's worth of samples that'll be sent to Massey, the environmental labs, to be tested. We are confident that the results will come back good. The next step will be to meet with the EPA next week and go over the plant, the test results, and our next steps to move forward. So this is a very exciting time. And hopefully at the next city council meeting, we'll have some even more great news about that East Water Plant. There's been some great events going on around town with some wonderful things coming up. So if you guys didn't know, we have a nice shop hop coming up tomorrow night. There's a bunch of Santa breakfasts going on. I know they just had Old Fashioned Christmas. A lot of the nonprofits are having their annual, like heartfelt holidays and things like that have passed. The Madison County Board of DD is having their Christmas cabaret night on Monday night, and there's just a lot of things going on. So we had our Mayor's Day sale at Shoe Sensation, and we're awaiting the final donation amount that'll be given back to the Raider Rack for London City Schools. But please, this holiday season, make sure that you try to shop local as much as possible and support all of the great businesses that we have here in London. So a few years back, a social media influencer came out to London and did a video on the city. This was to help promote the city and highlight a few of the things that we had going on. His name is Joey. He goes by Sir Yacht on social media, and we became quick friends, and we've stayed in touch, and he wanted to come back out and do another video highlighting some of the great things going on in the city, some of the new stuff, all the great work going on in downtown, and have some fun with the police and fire department. The video was posted on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, and it has over 10,000 likes, almost 100,000 views, and hundreds of shares. So I just wanted to thank Joey for coming out and doing this for us and helping us highlight London and how great it is here and how many awesome things and new businesses and all the things we got going on right now. So thank you to him. I talked about Eve is now our executive assistant. She is very skilled in social media also, and you may have seen there's been some changes to the pages of Facebook for us. We'll be starting an Instagram page. She is starting to highlight some different stuff, and we're going to start highlighting local businesses. So we're going to reach out to local businesses, and then they can just reach out to us, and she'll stop out, take a couple pictures, ask them a couple questions, and we can use our 5,000 plus followers to bring more attention to all the great things and all the great businesses we have around town. So that's all I have. Thank you very much, guys.
All right, thank you. And along with the newly elected officials, I do encourage, I won't be here to see it through, but I do encourage you to go to the newly elected official training that happens. It's going to give you a wealth of knowledge, and it's going to hopefully help to direct you in the right direction so that you can make sure you're doing things correctly, because if you haven't been on this side of it before, things are just a little bit different than they look on that side. So it's a lot of information, so I would say education is definitely going to be the key. So if you want to help the city to continue to move forward, it's going to be the education of knowing how to do what you do and to do it efficiently, and how to hopefully find the correct information so you're not looking for that goose that's running around wild. All right, do you have anything, Rex?
Just want to touch base on what Mr. Boyd brought to council and brought in front of council. I appreciate all the work that he's done. It looks like he's done a lot of research and so forth. but I believe that he's looking at a totally different program than what we applied for. I talked to Mr. Whitaker Wright actually today and talked to him, and he said this program has nothing to do with HUD, and Tommy mentioned about HUD being involved in this. So I think there's two different programs. The dates and times don't match up with when funding's available and so forth. And I also have the agreement, I think, which he said he included, that specifically states that the county's in charge of paying for these projects. The only thing that the city has to pay for is our $56,000 share of the work that's done. So that's it.
Okay, yeah, because that changed a few years ago where the county gets the CDBG grant dollars, right? And then we kind of just get it through them. So that changed quite a few years ago. All right, okay. Nothing from the auditor? All right, thank you. All right, on to old business for our second reading. Resolution 22523, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
All right, clerk, could you please read the resolution?
Resolution 225-23, sponsored by Josh Peters, a resolution increasing appropriations.
Okay, this one and the next one, we're going to divvy this up, 250,000 each, total of 500,000. Everyone increase appropriations.
Okay, so,
Just leave it on.
yeah, I was gonna say whatever our wish is here, I'm gonna leave that on. Okay. Leave that on, everyone? Okay. Resolution 22623, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
All right, clerk, could you please read the resolution?
Resolution 226-23, sponsored by Josh Peters, a resolution increasing appropriations.
Okay, this, like mentioned before, this is the other half, one half's for sewer, the other half's for water, for 250,000, total of 500,000.
And leave this one on as well?
Yeah, just a further comments, that this
Okay.
totals $500,000 to be placed in escrow in favor of the Mid-Ohio Water and Sewer District. We're being required to put this money in escrow before we actually have a legal contract in place. But that will be if we decide to pull out of the Mid-Ohio Water and Sewer District. At any point, this money would go to Mid-Ohio as an escrow account. It would go to them, just to get that out there.
Okay, and like I said last meeting, I think that it probably should be higher. So I'm glad that they're being so gracious with $500,000 to if something were to go awry, and we would back out of that because they have quite a bit of knowledge and work into the project already. All right, on to Resolution 22823, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
All right, clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 228-23, sponsored by Josh Peters, an ordinance authorizing the approval and execution of the transfer agreement between the City of London and the Mid-Ohio Water and Sewer District.
All right, this resolution is to join the Mid-Ohio Water and Sewer District. I'm going to bring Steve up here and let him entertain.
Excuse me, sir, you have 5 minutes, please. Thank you. Hey, it's my next to last meeting. There we go.
Mr. President, thank you.
Thank you.
Council members, thank you. I'm actually going to grace you and not even speak at all. We have a cadre of Mid-Ohio representatives here. We have the director, Tom Taylor, who is much better suited to answer questions, at least on Mid-Ohio's behalf. He's the one that did the extensive work, the pro formas for you, and has been in the business over 40 years. So I'm going to bring Tom up. He may say a couple of things, and then feel free to ask questions, okay? How's that?
you know, I watched the video, wasn't able to make the last meeting, and I think Steve and Brad Lutz and Rob Slane probably did a great presentation. Probably answered a lot of your questions. Here tonight, you know, if you have any questions about financial information we passed out, you know, I can try to answer it tonight. The biggest question we get asked is, how can you guys do it cheaper than anyone else can? And a lot of it is really to do with, one big factor is we're able to generate about $1.8 million of revenue every year on a $1 investment. I mean, that's what we paid for the prison's water and sewer systems. So that's huge when you look at trying to get the return on your investment. Second is really personnel. Again, we all our operators right now can run water and sewer. Most cities, if you look at them, they'll have water plant operators and sewer plant operators. You know, by combining them, we save about 4 or 5 positions just with our system. Now, that sounds like a little bit of money, but operators and the benefits is about $90,000 to $100,000 a year. So you're looking at $400,000 or $500,000 savings just on that. The other thing we were able to do at our water plant, we took it over from London Correctional, was we were able to automate the plant. So we operate our plant, which is about the same size as London, with one operator, with one person. We automate it. We have a system called SCADA. We know everything goes on that plant. And we know when the pumps kick on, kick off, pH goes up, pH goes down. So that's how we were able to save a lot of money. Again, about 4 operators were saved by doing that process. So again, you're looking at another $400,000 or $500,000. So that's how we did a lot of it. Then you combine that with the economy of scale and all the other things that we benefit from regionalization. We had a meeting today with how EPA at your the older plant. One of the things they brought up is regionalization. The EPA, every time you talk to them, is regionalization. And there's money available out there, there's grant money. Mid-Ohio has about just under $10 million of grant funds that we've been able to accumulate about the last 2 years. So that's all because we started with regionalization. That goes a long way, obviously, on debt. The Summerford Sewer Project Mid-Ohio is doing 100% grant funded. So people out there that we're going to serve about 95 homes, 0 cost to the customers. So things like that is how we can do, you know, what we do, and we can do it a little bit less than a lot of communities can. So I just wanted to start out with that. And if you guys have any questions, a lot of data, the pro forma that we provided as a council, we've probably done 50 of them. It's been not just with London. We started out with Plain City and with Madison County. We had to make sure it's viable. It's not viable financially. We don't go any farther. The first thing we did, we started talking to Steve, you know, is it viable for both parties? And that's kind of where it started at. And from there, we had to make sure, you know, what your plant can do or has to do, and then, you know, what's the viability of expanding your plant versus building a regional plant. So a lot goes into it, a lot of numbers. We feel very confident in what we have. We work with our engineering firm on the pro formas, IBI Group. So that's kind of how we got to where we are today. So a little bit of background, but if you guys have any questions, happy to answer them. If you want to email us or anything like that, if you need longer answers than I can get tonight, please do that.
All right. You have any questions?
Sure. Come on, Steve, you knew it was coming. Imagine that.
You lose, Steve. You owe me $20.
No. So anyway, the pro forma, the great document. It's a great blueprint, not only for Mid-Ohio, it could be a great blueprint for London. I was surprised by some of the numbers in there. I wasn't sure how you calculated those. I do notice, though, I mean, I know you want to be profitable, but it seems like there's going to be a time period where at least part of the process won't be profitable for London for SSD1 and SSD2. Now, what exactly are those in this form?
SSD1 is the sewer district that is behind the engineer's office. It serves right now 4270 area.
Okay,
And then SSD2 is the plant that basically serves Choctaw Lake right now. Those two plants will go out of service when we build the regional plant. So we'll decommission those two facilities. They'll become what we call a lift station.
okay. And then, I mean, it appears that in these projections, London will be operating at a loss for part of this, at least for a number of years. So I question if it's profitable enough, why would you do that if this shows projections where you're going to be? Maybe it's just there's two parts that I noticed. One is the gain or loss, debt versus capacity fees, there's a loss, and cash on hand for sewer capital, that goes down quite a bit. And then it comes back up at the end. So I can't really say I've spent a lot of time looking at this. I actually sat down and went through it last night and again today, just because there's a load of information here, and I appreciate that because I think this was something that was necessary.
Yes.
That everyone at council, if you haven't looked at this form, I think you should, because there's a lot of information in there. It's a little hard to follow because I'm not an expert at this, but I appreciate the information. And then this is a question not just for you, sir, but also for Mr. Lalonick and the city. This is a big decision. This is the enterprise fund that we've had and operated for so many years. It's a big decision to say, we're going to give you $56 million of our assets. We're going to give you our cash. We're also going to give you our problems. But it's a big decision to just do this without having a bigger presence publicly. So the presentation that you guys did such a good job with last time, I mean, I know it was a well-done presentation overall with everybody that was involved, and it may be recorded in some way, but I'd really like that information to be available to the public, not just here, but on the city website, and let people go look at this information and see the rates. Let people see that they're going to save money here. Let people see everything that you guys brought up, and let the public help make that decision, because it's an awful big decision. Honestly, for up to me, I wouldn't do this way. I would take it to the ballot and say, if the people want to do it, then we'll do it that way. And if the people don't want to do it, then we're going to have to go to Plan B, which is what Mr. Lalonick said. We can't continue to operate the way that we do. We have to change something. And that would be my choice to do this, is to let the people make that decision. But I would at least like this information to be available to everyone, and not just the council members, and not just it needs to be in a place where it can be easily accessed, would be my comment. And I don't know if there's any plans to put anything up there.
That's not an issue. We can do that. We'll get the information. We'll put it up. Greg, if you were feeling that way, I wish you would have just emailed us. We could have had it on.
Got it up there already.
Well, we've still got another reading. We still have time.
I just made a note.
That's all I have for you, sir.
Wow. Okay. Thank you.
Perfect.
All right, so we're going to leave that on. All right, on to ordinance 230-23, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
All right, clerk, could you please read the ordinance?
Ordinance 230-23, sponsored by Josh Peters, an ordinance amending ordinance 203-22 to reflect a range of salaries of department heads and non-union personnel.
Okay, this ordinance is to give the annual increase to the department heads that are non-union to match, the union workers we have here in the city.
Which is an agreement that we've had in place for a while, correct? That
Yeah, this is something we do
they
every
both
year.
go up?
Yeah,
It's
so
the
correct.
same-
So every year, so we're on the final year, 2024 will be the final year of the 3-year union contracts.
Okay.
It's a 3% increase. So every year you guys do this, so we can keep that gap in between the department heads and their employees. So we just run the 3% as the union employees will be getting.
And what are our wishes here? Is this on for a third reading? Yes? Okay. On to ordinance 23123. A motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
All right, clerk, please read the ordinance.
Ordinance 231-23, sponsored by Greg Eads, an ordinance to make appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of London, State of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2024.
So at the last finance meeting, we had quite a discussion, kind of went through things line by line, or at least I went through things line by line. With our auditor, she has disclosed to me that she has additional information today, and I'll let her bring that up right now.
I made an error. There's, the spreadsheet I work off of has percentages incorporated for OPERS and certain things that are percentages of salaries. And so it rounded up 1 penny for my total. So I'd like to amend the budget, the general fund total. Do you want me to read the whole figure or just the change that's a penny?
It's the whole figure.
Okay, the general fund total would need amended to $5,937,495.56. That's 1 penny less than what was presented to you guys. And also, the grand total then would need to be $22,354,858.07.
Okay. Yeah,
And I have fixed my spreadsheet, so it does not continue happening in the future.
okay. Well, thank you. All right, so what are our wishes here? We want to amend that.
That's what Greg said.
Move to amend.
Second.
All right, first and second to amend the new amounts. Clerk, could you please take the roll call for amendment?
Councilman Eads?
Yes.
Councilman Peters?
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Hitt?
Yes.
Councilman Stahl?
Yes.
Okay, and we want to leave that one. All right. On to ordinance 23223, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
All right, clerk, please read the ordinance.
Ordinance 232-23, sponsored by Josh Peters, an ordinance to approve a temporary increase to the municipal income tax by 0.25% per annum for a set period of time of 7 years, commencing July 1st, 2024, of which increase 0.25% per annum shall be used for the purposes of providing funds to pay costs of acquiring, constructing, furnishing, equipping, improving, maintaining, and repairing municipal fire department facilities, to pay general operating expenses of the fire department, and to pay any expenses and debt service charges for debt incurred in connection therewith, and declaring an emergency.
All right. She just said everything I needed to say. This is to put it back on the levy in the spring, which will be in March.
March.
No, this is to change the ordinance. The next one is to put it on the ballot.
Right, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I just forgot.
Yeah, so, yeah, this one, next one go together. But this is something we need to pass because we'll have to get it to the Board of Elections, I think, by Tuesday, Monday?
Yeah.
It's prior
Is it
to
in-
the next meeting, so it was like.
On a Monday, 19th or something?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so what are our wishes here? Want to get that moving?
I move to suspend the 3-reading rule.
Second.
All right, first and second to suspend. Clerk, could you please take the roll call?
Councilman Eads?
Yes.
Councilman Peters?
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Hitt?
Yes.
Councilman Stahl?
Yes. Move to adopt.
Second.
All right, we have a first and second for adoption. Clerk, please take the roll call for adoption.
Councilman Eads?
Yes.
Councilman Peters?
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
On to Resolution 233-23, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
All right, first and second, clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 233-23, sponsored by Josh Peters. A resolution to place the issue of a temporary increase, to the municipal income tax by 0.25% per annum for a set period of time of 7 years as provided in ordinance number 232-23 on the ballot of the election to be held on March 19, 2024, and directing the Board of Elections of Madison County, Ohio to conduct such election and declaring emergency. Blah.
Okay, this resolution's to actually take ordinance 23-23 to the Board of Elections.
So they'll need to amend that, right?
Okay. And what are our wishes here?
So just to discuss this for a quick minute, as a reminder, if anybody's listening, this does have a 7-year time period, starting July 1st of 2024, in which we'll collect an income tax for the fire department, an increase of 0.25%. If the council at that point decides they want to, or prior to that wants to do that because there's still a need, we can do that. Our hope is that with the increase of residents, the new houses, that's going to change the scenario a little bit, and we won't have to keep this on in the future. So that's why we put the 7-year time limit in. I believe there's a correction, and we need to look this up. According to the notes that I took that night, we thought that had to be to the Board of Elections by the 10th. That would be Sunday, according to Josh, but we need to go look at their website and see, because we may have to get that to them tomorrow.
And I am working from home and have the afternoon off, so I can get it there.
All right, so what are our wishes here?
Move to suspend.
Second.
All right, first and second for suspension. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Councilman Eads?
Yes.
Councilman Peters?
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Hitt?
Yes.
Councilman Stahl?
Yes.
Okay. Next.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All right, first and second for adoption. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Councilman Eads?
Yes.
Councilman Peters?
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Hitt?
Yes.
Councilman Stahl?
Yes.
All right, on to our new business, Resolution 234-23, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
All right, clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 234-23, sponsored by, did we get sponsors for these?
That's me.
Henry.
I'm going to sponsor
Oh,
that.
there we go. Henry Comer, a resolution increasing appropriations.
Okay, and this is increasing appropriations. There was a large water main break, and they had to make these repairs. And I'm not sure if you've seen it, but it was right in the downtown. Unfortunately, there was a fire, and the hoses were used in, I think, an area that they didn't need to be used in. And when they turned that off, it caused too much pressure and caused the lines to expand and explode. So there was a huge water main break. And that was an emergency, and that had to be taken care of right away.
So we have time.
So, what would we like to do here? 34.
So we're just appropriating money from the water fund. We're not appropriating money from general fund to water or any other way.
Right.
It's just from the fund, which we have a
To cover
carryover
that.
in.
Yep.
I'll move to suspend.
A second.
All right, first and second for suspension. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Councilman Eads?
Yes.
Councilman Peters?
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Hitt?
Yes.
Councilman Stahl?
Yes. Move to adopt.
Second.
All right, first and second for adoption. Clerk, please take the roll call to adopt.
And I'm sorry, I didn't catch who's second.
It's, Mr.
Rob?
Stahl.
Okay,
Yes.
Robinson. Councilman Eads?
Yes.
Councilman Peters?
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Hitt?
Yes.
Councilman Stahl?
Yes.
Okay. On to Resolution 235-23, a motion to read by title or number.
Make a motion to read by title and number.
Second.
Okay, first and second. Clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 235-23, sponsored by Henry Comer, a resolution increasing appropriations.
Okay, and this is a resolution to increase appropriations for BPU. They are in need of a lime slacker. And if you can.
It's Slaker.
Slaker. So if you can explain what that, because that's a term, right? Okay. All right, thank you.
And your name is Ross Thompson?
Russell Thompson. Currently, the old lime slaker's 23 years old. It has a display screen that went out on us when we were doing general maintenance. We're running the slaker right now in manual mode. It's done its time, it's served its duty, it's tired, it needs replaced. We are striving to be under 140 hardness out in the distribution system, and this is gonna help us maintain that high level of water quality for the citizens. So we're asking to install the new slaker. We looked at other options as far as lime slurry is concerned, and that would be an additional $100,000 in cost as far as using that compared to hydrated lime. So originally we wanted to go with lime slurry. As of now, that's not the plan. And we're not going to spend that much money to get the same end result. So a new slaker, hopefully we can, we're looking about $300,000. That'll include engineering and also a contractor to install it. So we're asking that you pass that and we can continue the high standard of water quality we're putting out currently.
And this is from the miscellaneous water fund, correct?
Correct.
All right.
I believe so.
Thank you. Any questions? All right. So this is another piece of equipment that we have that definitely needs replaced in order to continue with the high quality that we want to have here in our city. So what are our wishes here?
I'll move to suspend.
Second.
Okay, first and second to suspend. Clerk, could you please take the roll call?
Councilman Eads?
Yes.
Councilman Peters?
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Hitt?
Yes.
Councilman Stahl?
Yes, move to adopt.
Second.
All right, first and second for adoption. Clerk, please take the roll call to adopt.
Councilman Eads?
Yes.
Councilman Peters?
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Hitt?
Yes.
Councilman Stahl?
Yes.
Okay. On to Resolution 23623, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
All right. Clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 236-23, sponsored by Henry Comer, a resolution authorizing the mayor of the city of London, Ohio, to accept an Ohio EPA water supply revolving loan account, WSRLA, on behalf of the city of London for construction of the North Main Street Water Main Replacement Project.
All right, and this is dollars that's going to go towards the $18 million that we have already approved. So this is another one of those projects that we had on the list. So now it's good to hear that this is moving right along the stages that we would like to see it moving, and that's forward. So this is just a part of that, of those funds that we have already approved. And the amount would be $1,561,862.60. And that would be the amount of that loan to help us to move forward.
I make a motion to,
What's that?
I make a
Oh,
motion.
to amend it to that?
Yeah.
Okay, because it was, before it was to apply for it, and now we have the amount. Okay, so let's, need an amendment, okay?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to amend the amount to $1,561,862.60.
Second.
Okay, first and second to amend the amount. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Councilman Eads?
Yes, but I was gonna have a point to make, if you'll allow me. So last night, this came up, and when it came up at the number that was shown here, $2,400,000, Councilman Robinson and Councilman Peters both questioned that wasn't the amount that we thought it was. So that research was done today, and they realized, although we thought it was $1.2 million initially, paving the road instead of just patching it took the cost up a little bit. But today, they found that information, that's why we're amending that.
Okay. All right. Mr. Peters?
But yes, I'll move to suspend.
All right.
Thank you.
To amend.
Or to
To
amend, I'm
amend.
sorry, to amend.
Councilman Peters?
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Hitt?
Yes.
Councilman Stahl?
Yes, move to adopt.
Move to suspend.
Suspend.
Suspend, I'm sorry.
Suspend first. Yep.
Second.
All right, we have a first and second in a second to suspend. We have a second here. Clerk, could you
Oh,
please take the roll call for suspension?
Councilman Eads?
Yes?
Councilman Peters?
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Hitt?
Yes.
Councilman Stahl?
Yes, now we move to adopt.
Second.
All right, first and second for adoption. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Councilman Eads?
Yes.
Councilman Peters?
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Hitt?
Yes.
Councilman Stahl?
Yes.
On to Resolution 23723, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
All right, clerk, could you please read the resolution?
Resolution 237-23, sponsored by John Stahl, a resolution requesting construction loan financing from the Ohio Water Development Authority for the City of London's West Water Treatment Plant Disinfection Improvements Project of the City of London, Madison County, Ohio, declare an emergency.
This pretty much states itself as for the disinfection improvement of the West High Street plant. Maybe somebody from the utilities could explain it a little better.
Russell Thompson again. Currently at the plant, we're using gas chlorine. It's very dangerous, it's very old, it's very outdated. It's mostly used for surface water facilities. We currently at each plant in London is a well-operated facility, not surface water. What this is gonna allow us to do is switch to liquid sodium hypochlorite. It's much safer, it's much easier to handle, and it's also more consistent. So our biggest concern on this is safety, period, number one. A lot of people don't understand liquid gas or liquid chlorine gas. One drop equals, I think, 490. So one liquid drop equals the same amount times 490 as gas. So it's not something you can hold your breath. If there's a leak, it actually shrinks your lungs. So it's very dangerous for the operators. And probably every other day, they're changing the tank right now. Nobody's certified in scuba, self-breathing apparatus that needs to be put on to go in there if there is a leak. So for us, it's very important. It's a huge safety issue and concern, not only for the operators there, but just for London as a whole. So vendors that go in there, a lot of companies don't like to be anywhere around chlorine gas. So we're asking for that. And like I said, our number one on that is safety.
So is this a new project? This wasn't part of our original $18 million, or was it? It was. Yeah, oh, this was?
This project was not $18 million, is reverting some of the other projects to pay for this. So we're not asking for any additional dollars.
So this will be paid for out of the 18 million that's already approved. And I imagine that as we go along, we find other things that are huge issues, because with this gas, that is, so we've operated all this time with that dangerous gas, so that's definitely something that needs fixed. So I would imagine as we go along, there's gonna be other things that come up that we may need to divert some of those other funds to get done as emergencies like this.
Mr. President, thank you. We had $1 million. Can you hear me?
On
Not
the
really.
recording,
Come
they
on up.
can't hear you. Thank you.
We had $1 million of other repairs. One of them was a contact solid tank. And then the filter media, when Mid-Ohio came in, they said, hey, listen, that's not the priority number one. This dangerous vessel that we're replacing right now is really something for the safety of everybody we need to change out. So we're holding off on some of those other projects, but we're not increasing the $18 million, okay? So it's still within that budget. Does that help?
Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, but this is new information. We
No,
haven't-
and it's a very good question, Greg.
We haven't seen this before, so that wasn't considered before. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So that $18 million is definitely going to help us with unforeseen contingencies, which is what money is used for. Thank you. All right, thank you.
Move for suspension.
Second.
All right, first and second for suspension. Clerk, could you please take the roll call?
Councilman Eads?
Yes.
Councilman Peters?
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Hitt?
Yes.
Councilman Stahl?
Yes, move to adopt.
Second.
All right, first and second for adoption. Clerk, could you please take the roll call?
Councilman Eads?
Yes.
Councilman Peters?
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Hitt?
Yes.
Councilman Stahl?
Yes.
1, 2, ordinance 23823, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
All right, clerk, could you please read the ordinance?
Ordinance 238-23, sponsored by Henry Comer, an ordinance amending official zoning map.
Okay, at 216 East First Street, this is a normal residential home. It's not a factory. It doesn't have anything to do with a factory, no pole barns or extra buildings on the property, but it is zoned manufacturing. So they want to have that rezoned to residential because it is a residential home. And so I don't see any reason. What is that?
Is that the only home in that area?
Yeah, and so we'll have, yeah, what's that date?
Huh?
I didn't put the date. What's the date?
It would be in January, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Second one of January,
Second reading in January would be
or the second,
1/18.
18th, all right. So we would need a public hearing for that on the 18th, and what was your question?
Is that the only home in it?
No, there's, as a matter of fact, it's in a neighborhood. There's houses next to it, houses everywhere. So I'm not sure why. I think it was inadvertently added to manufacturing when I think there's a garage, or not garage door. There's like, what manufacturing place is that over there? It's
Well, it's over by InstaWhip, right?
yeah, over there. So for some reason.
So it's about like between InstaWhip and then what used to be, what the old timers knew as what? Canfields? Was that what that was? Yeah, over on Maple Street. There you go.
Yeah,
before.
so, but it is definitely residential, along with the other houses around it, so I think it may have inadvertently been added to the manufacturing when those lines were drawn, so, and it looks to me like they're doing some work over there, and they want to sell the house, and maybe this is one of the things that came up when they were looking for the title information.
I think the question too, yesterday why I went to an R3 was everything around is an R3 as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
and
why.
and they're definitely residential, it's not factory at all.
Well, the question was, why not an R1
Yeah.
with the bigger lots?
R3's all around it.
Yeah.
So it would fit the surroundings. Okay, so we have, we'll have in that public hearing you said is January the 18th?
Yes.
All right. 1, 2, ordinance 23923, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
All right, clerk, please read the ordinance.
Ordinance 239-23, sponsored by Andrew Hitt, an ordinance amending section 1228 of the codified ordinances.
So this is, there's an attachment, but this is to amend a line under 1228.05 drainage section. Just takes out that last line under number 5 to reflect what we already passed a few weeks ago. Legislation that we previously passed.
Okay. What's that? Rick, do you have something on this? Okay. Right. Okay. So what are our wishes here?
So this says mean, I still don't see why it's emergency. How many storm sewers are we gonna be putting in the next month?
Yeah. So this puts it in alignment with the other ordinance that's already active. So you don't want to have things in line that's going to contradict and hold up any progress at all.
Should we, so under this, just to read it, under section 5, storm sewers. Storm sewers, as it's written now, shall be designed to flow full for 2-year storm. A hydraulic grade line or HGL check based on the 5-year storm shall also be completed. You want to remove that and add the language designed, so it'll say storm sewers shall be designed pursuant to 1476.15. Is that of the City of London codified ordinances? Can we add that language so that it says codified
Is that a
ordinance?
motion to
Because
amend?
it will be in a second. I just want to make sure because it could also be under state code. We've got other things we just do pursuant to state code.
Director, because she put that in there. She's the one who wrote it, so I would assume she wrote it.
I would think any numbers in here is
How it's
pursuant to,
codified.
to the codified.
Well, in this, the
If it's
attachment here. it's
referenced
on-
to anything else, it would state it.
It says storm sewers shall be, and then it says designed pursuant to 14676.15, but it doesn't say ORC or codified ordinance. So
But
he's
I
saying-
thought we had, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I thought we had changed it earlier, made a change earlier, so that it specified, state code.
We've mimicked the state code, but we put it in our codifieds under that 14, whatever those final numbers were.
To match up with the state.
Yeah,
yes.
we matched
Remember
up
we
with
did
the
that.
state.
Yeah.
We didn't reference the state, we just matched up with it. I believe.
All right, so you were going to make a motion to amend the,
Well,
because if that's all we need to do, let's go ahead and amend it.
Great. I will move that we amend this so that it says, at the second part of this, storm sewer shall be designed pursuant to 1476.15 of the London codified ordinances.
So add of the London codified ordinances. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a first and second to amend. Clerk, could you please take the roll call?
Councilman Eads?
Yes?
Councilman Peters?
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Hitt?
Yes.
Councilman Stahl?
Yes.
Okay, and we need a,
Make a motion to suspend the 3-reading rule.
Second.
all right, we have a first and second for suspension. Clerk, could you please take the roll call?
Councilman Eads?
Yes.
Councilman Peters?
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Hitt?
Yes.
Councilman Stahl?
Yes, move to adopt.
Second.
All right, first and second for adoption. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Councilman Eads?
Yes.
Councilman Peters?
Yes.
Councilman Robinson?
Yes.
Councilman Hitt?
Yes.
Councilman Stahl?
Yes.
All right, on to roundtable. We'll begin with Mr. Stahl.
When we're elected to council, we're elected to make tough decisions. And I think this Mid-Ohio thing is one of those things, as Mr. Eads said, you read that book that they give us, it's very difficult, kind of above most people, because some of it I didn't understand, but I've talked to Mr. Lelonic and others, and I understand what's going through. I don't think most people would understand. And I think we're elected to make a decision on some of them things. I think we need to, after 3 readings, after the next meeting, if anybody had a question, they could come and ask about it. I just feel we should go ahead with it. And that's all I have tonight.
And I think if we do put that information out there, that if people do have questions, then they can ask questions, so that way they will understand. Because, you know, City of London, the people here in this community, and I'm a part of the community too, very intelligent. So I think if they have questions, they read over it, they can understand once they're given the correct information or the correct responses to their questions. Yes, Mr. Hitt.
The Safety Committee meeting is Tuesday, the 12th, at 5 o'clock in this room.
All right.
I have nothing.
Mr. Peters.
Again, next finance meeting will be December 11th, at 6 PM.
All right. And Mr. Eads.
A quick correction for the clerk and for the record, I guess. I did go on, probably they did too, the administration did. The actual deadline looks like it's going to be December 20th to file that, according to the elections website. Did you look at that also?
It would have to be before the 19th because it's 90 days.
Yeah, so it's 90 days, so look to
I'll
me.
get it there tomorrow.
Look to me.
And it'll solve everybody's.
It'll be there tomorrow, so that way it'll be,
But double check it regardless, okay.
it'll be done tomorrow. So as long as it's not today, we're good.
Also, Mr. Mayor, I want to thank, I have not met your administrative assistant. I want to thank her, you mentioned this earlier, but I want to thank her publicly, because I don't know her, but I know that the tone of what's being posted is changed. Not that it was a bad tone before, but it was a little matter of fact, and now it seems to be a little more positive, and there's different postings on there. I think the fact that you want to highlight local businesses is something that the city should do, not just the chamber and not just downtown, the downtown group, but I think that we should celebrate the people that do business here. So I appreciate the difference in then what we're seeing with that. Couple things I'd like to mention to council members. I mentioned it to the council president earlier. I'd like to mention this to the administration. And I think it would be very beneficial with 3 new council members and one who's only been here 1 term, that we can set up maybe some type of a day of training, maybe 2 days of training, one with the law director, just so that we can, I know that there's the state puts on, what is it, what's the group that puts on the state training?
Ohio.
There you go, Municipal League, yeah. They put that on, I went to that, it was very informational, but it didn't really teach us how to do what we need to do here. I think a training session with the law director, even if it was just for an hour here, would be very beneficial, not just to the new members, beneficial to me and anybody else that wants to go. I would also like to work with with everyone and do a tour of the city offices and departments. For every council member that wants to do it, I haven't stepped foot in a couple of the buildings. I would like to go tour some of those buildings that I've never been in, learn what they do, and I think it'd be very beneficial for everyone if we can not just tour the city offices, but the sewer plant, the water plant, and actually let council members go see what it is people do and what we are trying to help manage up here. So that's something I would like to do. We'll have to wait till we get our people sworn in and can try to figure out a schedule for that, but I'm all in, and I think other people would be too.
All right. And as Mr. Eads also, he and I discussed earlier, we could also, and it's, if whoever would like to be sworn in the next meeting, I can do that for you, and we'll add that to our agenda to get the new members sworn in, or anyone who would like to be sworn in at that time. All right. So is anything else? All right. A motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Don't walk.
I want to do this. Would you do me the honors of
No.
taking care of this?
No.
Come on.
This is, that's your
Hey.
area.